Greetings to everyone. As you can see in front of you, there is this question from grade 11 learner. So I will do a video trying to help this learner. This question is under vectors. And the vectors are the most important topic, which is also there in the Newton's laws and is also there in electrostatics. In grade 12, you will see some topics like momentum and others, which means this question is very important. So sizokwenza yona ke, but I will start with a small explanation on what to do when you are about to answer this question. What you must know, what you must first do, the steps to answer this question. The main question here is calculate the magnitude of the resultant force. As you can see that we have force A and force B. So I will try to explain before we answer this question. Now let's go to the explanation. Let's go to the explanation. Let me remove this question. Then I will come with it. Let's remove the question. Resultant vector is defined as the single vector that have the same effect as two or more vectors together, which means we combine two or more vectors, then we get the resultant vector. First of all, you must understand that we have vectors that are collinear. We have vectors that are collinear, which means the vectors that lies on the same straight line. That is, if we are talking about horizontal vectors, you will have only the horizontal vectors. Let's look at this 2 kg block. Let's say we have a force that is exerted to the left. Let's say it's 12 newtons, for example. And we have the force that is exerted to the right. Let's say it's 20 newtons to the right. So we have two vectors here. We have two vectors, that is 20 newtons to the right and 12 newtons to the left. Since this is these are what are the horizontal forces, we call them collinear vectors. That is x weight. So x weight that is collinear. Then when we combine the collinear vectors, that is sifuna resultant vector kwezi collinear, we have to choose a direction. For example, we can say take right as positive. Take right. Zonke forces as a right zibe njani? Zibe positive as positive. Which means as a right izoba positive, but as a left izoba negative. Then combine again to get the resultant vector. The resultant force now will be F res, because the force is in newtons. So we will say 20 minus 12. Then we get what? It should be 8 if I'm not mistaken, 8 newtons. But the answer is positive. When the answer is positive, which means the force here is right, therefore the object is right. Classes combined, my force right, which means the box is right. So siyixelile ke ngoku direction magnitude yale force. Sibe sigqibile le. Another collinear, let's say we have 2 kg block, ingayi force ehlayo maybe Fg, be force enyukayo maybe 10 newtons. So sinale force inyukayo sino Fg. Le Fg simbala kanjani sithi mg. So mg, m wethu ngubani? Ngu2 mass, ug ngu 9,8. that is constant, sibe no-19,6 newtons. Iyaphi? Uyezantsi, downwards. So nezi zicollinear because no up no down qha, that is vertical. These ones were horizontal, so vertical lo. So xa sizicombine nalapho, we have to choose direction because collinear. Take what? Upwards as positive. Let's take upwards as positive. This one will be positive, this one will be negative. So itsho ke ngoku F-res wethu wale ibe ngubani? Ibe ngu-10 minus 19,6 newtons. Then sicofe ucalculator, it should be 10 minus 19 should be minus, it should be minus 9,6 newtons. Then iphume i-negative uthi therefore F-res walapho, F-res walapho nguzoba 9,6 newtons downwards. So sibe sifunda, that is collinear. Siqale sifocus collinear. Sijonge ii-forces eziye left, sijonge eziye right, sijonge ezi-up kuphela, sijonge ezi-down kuphela. That is collinear forces. Let's look at this one. Let's say this is the object. We have this force and this force. This one is 20 newtons. That is 2. I'm trying to write 2 here. 20 newtons. This one is, let's say it's 15 newtons. Then we have another force here. Let's say this one is 30 newtons. If we calculate the resultant force or resultant vector here, collinear, the horizontal zonke ezi forces, therefore collinear. You choose the direction. Noba yiphi, let's take right as positive. Take right as positive. Right wethu, that is eyakweli forces or positive. Take right as positive. So right xa positive ke ngoku icacile left uzoba negative. So this one is positive, this one is negative, this one is negative. Therefore, F-res is equal to 30 minus 20 minus 15. Then a combination yethu isinika bani? 30 minus 20, it's 10 minus 5, it's minus 5. So sino minus 5 newtons. Unjani u-negative? Therefore, F-res is equal to, negative usixela i-direction, is equal to 5 newtons. Yenjani besithi yeyaphi ebesiyenza iya-negative, eye-left to the left direction. So sibe sigqibile this one. That is collinear. Then sibe nalena ke ngoku ingekho collinear, where kukho i-angle, that is right angle, 90 degrees. Lena kanye kanye sikuyo le siyenzayo. We have i-Cartesian plane, for example. We have the y-axis, we have the x-axis, I mean. Then here goes 0 point wethu, that is position, your object. Now, let's say we have, for example, a force that is not horizontal, that is not vertical, eslantileyo, the force that is slanted. Force that is slanted. And the force, let's say this force is 20 newtons. At which angle? Let's say the angle is 30 degrees. To write down, and we have another force. Let's say this force, another force that we have, the force A left, let's say 5 newtons. Let's say we have another force which is going down. Let's say the force is 3 newtons, for example. What do we do in this case? There is the angle, the force at an angle, Then we have horizontal force and vertical force for object A1. Step number 1, we have to follow the steps. Step number 1, resolve components. Of this landed force. That is the first thing. That is, you will have Fx, which is equal to the force that is landed cos theta. We will have Fy, which is equal to the force that is landed sine theta. Sine theta. Okay. That is the first thing of negative. Number 2, combine horizontal. Combine horizontal forces. You combine the horizontal forces and combine the vertical forces. Step number 4 or number 3, use head to tail. Is it head to tail or tail to head? Head to the tail. Let's say tail to head. Tail to head method. Number 4, number last. Let's say number 4. Number 4 way to use Pythagoras theorem. Use Pythagoras theorem. Use Pythagoras theorem to calculate the resultant force. Number 5, step number 5. Step number 5, tan theta is opposite over adjacent. To get what? To get the direction. To get the direction, you are going to use tan theta is equal to the opposite over adjacent. Then let's do it. Let's do it. Let me remove all of this. Let me remove all of this. Let's do it. Remove everything here. Now let's calculate the resultant force here. Resultant force. Step number 1. Step number 1. Step number 1. Resolve components. That is step number 1. Resolve components. Let's resolve the component. Fx is equal to F cos theta. U-F ulingana nabani? Luslantileyo ngu-20. Cos i-angle ngu-30. Okay, the answer is, let's press the calculator. The answer is 17,32. The answer is 17,32 newtons. That is Fx. That is the component. Component number 2 is Fy. Okay, what we can do, we can just draw the components here. We have component x, that is Fx. We have component y, that is Fy, which is equal to fx is already calculated, is 17,32 newtons. That is fx. We are about to calculate fy. So fy will be equal to fy will be equal to f sine theta. F sine theta, the force is 20. Sine, the angle is 30. Then we press the calculator. So the answer is equal to 10 newtons here. So we have 10 newtons here. So i-diagram yethu ime kanje ngoku, the new diagram. We have fx, or we have 5 newtons, this one. We have the one that is going down, 3 newtons. We have the one that goes to the right, that is fx, which is 17,32. We have the upward force, which is 10 newtons. This is the new diagram that we have. This is our new diagram. This one. New diagram. So let's put it here. Everything is there. Let's remove this one. We are done with it. This one. We are done with it. Now we have forces that are going up. We have forces that are going down. We have forces that are going right. We have forces that are going to the left side, which means let's combine the forces. Step number 2, combine horizontal forces alone. Combine vertical forces alone. That is step number 2. Let's combine now. Let's combine. Horizontal forces, that is horizontal forces, horizontal forces, horizontal forces. So step number 2, horizontal forces. Let's combine them. Horizontal forces is a total force for x, or you can just say FH. Take right as positive. Right must be positive in this case, which means this one will be positive and 5 will be negative. Therefore, we have 17, which is positive, minus 5. The answer for x is 12,32. The answer here is 12,32 newtons. It may be positive, the answer, therefore here a right to the right. Then sibale Fy, total Fy okanye vertical forces. Take up as positive, then down is negative. So we'll say 10 minus 3. Then we get 7 newtons. Okay? Iphuma njani positive, meaning that upwards law. Upwards. So iyenyuka le. Step number 3. Step number 3. Step number 3. Let me check. Step number 3, head to tail. So we draw head to tail with step number 3. Let's draw head to tail. Step number 3. When you draw head to tail, you have to draw the first vector. That is the first thing. First vector. Second vector, such that the tail of the second vector is on the head of the first vector. Then you draw the last vector such that the tail of the last vector is from the tail of the first vector, and the head of the last vector is on the head of the second vector. Let's do that. Let's draw the first vector. The first vector is x in our case. So we have a vector yokuqala engu-x engubani eye right engu-12, 12. Let's throw it here downwards. This one is 12,32 newtons here, right? As you can see. Draw the second vector such that the tail of the second vector is on the head of the first vector. That is 7 newtons upwards. So we have 7 newtons. The last vector, the tail of the first and last, and the head of the last and the second. So the angle is here, tail. So we have angle theta here. So this one is the last vector, isibiza ngu-F-res. F-res. That is the resultant force. So we are going to calculate the resultant force. Step number 4. Step number 4 says use. Step number 4, use Pythagoras theorem. Now sijonge kule diagram ngoku sigqibile ngale diagram. Sijonge kule diagram le right angle triangle, use Pythagoras theorem, which says x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. Then x wethu 12,32 square plus y squared wethu y wethu 7 square, which is equal to r squared f r, that is f res square. Then sicofe calculator ke ngoku. Then f res square is equal to, that is f res square is equal to 200,78. Then squareishe kwelicala nakwelicala sisquareishe both sides. Then sifumane u-f res wethu ongubani f res ongu-14 xa sicofa calculator, 14,17 newtons. That is f res wethu, it's 14,17 newtons. Now uba singajonga i-direction yakhe, we have north here, we have south down, bengu-east wethu ngapha, kweli cala lingapha ngu-west wethu. So yena ume kanje u-f res wethu. That is, if we look at this angle, that is north of east, north of east. Then step number 5, that is the last step, with direction of the resultant force. Sesivile, but we need the angle theta to get the direction. So let me remove this one. We are done with this one. Let me remove it. So step number 5, the direction. Step number 5 is the direction. Tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. Tan theta is opposite over adjacent. The angle is theta is opposite to 7. So tan theta is 7 divided by the adjacent is 12,32. Theta is equal to tan inverse 7 over 12,32. Therefore, theta is equal to, let's press the calculator. Theta is equal to 29,60 degrees. That is with theta weight. Therefore, f res is equal to 14,17 at 29 degrees north of what? Of east. Sibe sifumene i-resultant force yethu. Sibe sifumene xa kukho i-angle, we follow the steps ezabe ndizitsho. Now let's go to that question. Siyiphendule then sibe sigqibile ivideo yethu for today. So equation yethu ke ngoku we have these forces, this one that is B, which is 300 to the left, we are left, then sibe nale isilantileyo ke ngoku iya ezantsi. Okay, then the first question says define the resultant force. Resultant vector, in other words, is a single vector that have the same effect as two or more vectors together. So that is the definition. The following question says calculate the magnitude of the resultant force. So masibale magnitude, but ke ngoku sinale ye left siphinde sibe nale yehlayo. Le yehlayo ke ngoku yona, this one is slanted, which means funeka sijonge components. So step number one, components. So step number one, sizojonga components, that is fx. So resolve components, lingano f osilantileyo cos theta, sibe no fy lingano f sin theta. Now let's talk about theta. With theta i-angle, theta i-angle, angle between what? Angle between the force that we're talking about, the slanted one, and x-axis, that is theta. But apha sinikwe i-angle between i-y-axis nale force, but thina sinida ukusuka kwi-x-axis ukuza lapha. Singenza kanjani apha? Okay, so funeka siphendule leyo ke ngoku. We want to remove le portion. Le portion le ingu-90 degrees. I-x-axis is perpendicular to i-y-axis. Therefore, this portion singayifuniyo ingu-90 degrees. Kusuka apha ukuzotsho ngu-90 degrees. So let's remove 90 degrees here, which means sizothini 120, 125 si-remove minus u-90 degrees. Therefore, le angle ke ngoku ibe ngubani? Ibe ngu-35 degrees. Sisebenzise yona. Now we can calculate the components kakuhle, sishonge angle yethu. Okay, so let's start with fx. Fx will be equal to the force that is landed 500. That is 500 newtons times cos the angle is 35. The angle is 35. Then sicofe calculator yethu. The answer yethu is 409, 409,58 newtons. Now let's draw the vector that is fx. So fx, since siya le uzoyixhaka original, so this is our fx. Since isehla, fy will go down, this is our fy. So fx is equal to 409,58 newtons. Then fy yena abe ngubani? Sibale fy. So fy wethu, fy is equal to force yethu ngu-500 lesithetha ngayo isilantileyo, sin angle ngoku ngubani? 35 degrees. Then sicofe calculator yethu. Then answer yethu ibe ngu-286. Answer yethu is 286, 286, not 88, but 86, 286,79 newtons. Then sizoyibeka ke ngoku apha ku-y wethu here, 286, 286,79. So i-diagram yethu esingayizoba ngoku ingathi isenta yethu le, sine-force eya kweli cala engubani? Engu-409,58 newtons. Bene-force eya kweli cala engu-B engu-300 newtons. Bene-force eya ezantsi engubani engu-286,79 newtons. Asinayo inyukayo, so ii-forces zethu ziyi-1 2 3. Le ayisangeni ndawo because nee-components, so siyisuse le diagram. We are done with it. Sishiyeke nalena ke ngoku i-diagram intsha. We are done with this one. Sishiyeke nale diagram intsha ke ngoku. Nansi i-diagram yethu. Step number 2. Step number 2 ebesithini kanene? Step number 2 ebesithi combine horizontal and vertical. Step number 2, combine horizontal and vertical. Let's combine. Step number 2, F horizontal or Fx will be equal to, let's choose direction, take right as positive, which means this side is positive, this one is negative. So we have 409,58 newtons minus 300. Then sicofa i-calculator. Calculator yethu isinike bani? Minus 300. Am I correct? Isinike minus 300. Yes, isinika minus 300. Minus, no, it's not supposed to be like that. There's something wrong here. The answer is not minus, it's 109,58 newtons, and uphume positive, which means to the right. Then sibhale right way to here, to the right. Siye ku-vertical forces. How many vertical forces that we have? We have only one, therefore we just write vertical 286,79 yaphi? Downwards, this one. Then siye ku-step number 3. Step number 3 othini? Step number 3, use tail to head method. Now let's draw tail to head method and see what will happen. Step number 3. Step number 3. Yes, step number 3. Tail. Let's draw. We have upwards or to the right, not downwards. So we have a force that is going to the right. Engubani? Engu 0,9 or 0. That is 109,58 newtons to the right. Then spend a force ehlayo engu 286,79 newtons downwards. Then we draw the F-rest. Then the angle, we tails angle yethu. Upper sino 90 degrees. Then step number 4, use Pythagoras theorem. Now let's use the Pythagoras theorem. I can remove this one. I don't need it now. I'm done with it. Use Pythagoras theorem. Step number 4, let's use the Pythagoras theorem. That is x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. X wethu sijonga la. Now x 109,58, not 50. This is supposed to be 858 squared plus y wethu. Now y wethu is 286,79 squared, which is equal to f rest square. Then let's press the calculator. When we press the calculator, we get, so the answer here is, so we have f rest, that is f rest square is equal to 94,084,30. Then we put the square root both sides. Then f rest Fres is equal to, press the calculator, 306.73 newtons. Then step number 5. Use tan theta. Step number 5. Use tan theta to calculate the direction. Tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. So the angle is opposite to this one. So tan theta is equal to 286.79 divided by the adjacent side is this one, 109.58. Therefore theta wethu aphume engu, sicofe calculator yethu. Theta, okay, qala aphume lingana no tan inverse minus 1 over 286.79 divided by 109.58. Then we press the calculator. Theta is equal to 69.09 degrees. Therefore Fres is equal to 306.73. At which angle? At 69.09 degrees. Then if you can look here, we have here east, then up as no south, le ime kanje, which means le angle xa ilapha kule ndawo kusezantsi kuba east is what? South of what? Of east. South of east. Sibe sigqibile ngala question, then you get the 5 marks. Sibe sifumene ke ngoku. If you have a question, ungabuza ke question yakho. Follow me on Facebook, lukhona Sciences. Then uzokwazi usend question yakho ndikwenzele like lo mfundi ndimenzelayo. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like my Facebook page so that ungaphoswa nto. Thank you very much.